And welcome back, viewers. Welcome back. Well, earlier this week, a couple of days ago, I had a student. I had two representatives of various organizations, and we were talking about healthy lifestyles, healthy living, and it's just fantastic that today we're staying on the same theme, because this is a theme that I'm really passionate about. It's an area that I love. It's an area that I think lots of you should pay more attention to in order to live a balanced and healthy lifestyle. So this morning, I'm so happy to have this lovely lady with me here today. Her name is Tash Mitch, and she is a wellness coach, amongst other things. And clearly, you're going to be telling me all about your journey. Good to see you, and welcome.
Thank you very, very much. Thanks for having me.
Mom has been here a few times, right?
I know. She's kind of like... She loves your program, though. Well, absolutely loves it.
You, Auntie Carol.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Tash.
Thank you very
Artist
much.
of Health. Firstly, tell me about your career, and when did the whole interest,
how did it come together?
How did everything fall into, how did the pieces come together?
Well, it's quite funny because basically I was thinking about the timeline. I think everybody's life has got a timeline that leads up to a situation or something that's been produced, and definitely for me the timeline has been from early childhood. I got put into numerous different situations. So I was born in London, and my parents were quite ambitious Caribbean people. So I got put into a private school, the first school I went to, and I was the only black person in the entire school. So that kind of made it such that you had to really feel out people and feel out the situation and really get to understand where people were coming from. And that was kind of a really huge growing experience for me. And then from there, we actually moved to Saudi Arabia, and again, there was a huge waiting list for the Western school in Saudi Arabia. So I ended up going to a school, a Pakistani school and an Arabic school. And again, it's kind of like, you really have to feel people out, feel out the culture, get to understand where people are coming from, and really where you actually sit with other people as well. And then from there I came to Grenada, and it was again a situation of like feeling, out the situation. I hadn't actually been living here, I'd never lived here, etc. So all of these things culminated into me kind of like getting a really huge curiosity for people, and a huge understanding in terms of just sitting back and just observing people. And one of the things that came out of that was an understanding that there's a magic to us as human beings. There's something that's deeply magical and something that connects each and every one of us. And so that was always kind of like a driving force for me. But I ended up going to high school here in Grenada, and then from here I went over to England and studied business and finance, and got into the media industry and worked for the BBC, and also worked for United Business Media in media advertising, and was surrounded by sort of media and surrounded by writers and journalists. And so those, soaking up that atmosphere. I never really thought I'd get to the point where I'd write a book, but it was kind of like there was definitely a soaking up of all of that. And while I was working there, the feeling of really starting to explore the beauty of and magic of being human was kind of like niggling in the background. So I started doing courses. I started with a Reiki course, and then ended up going on to holistic massage. And then over a period of time, I've traveled to learn more about massage to places like India and Thailand and Peru. So it became a huge passion, just wellness, well-being, and also tapping into the healing aspect of the body as well became a huge passion of mine. And through the work that I was doing, I started coming into contact with exceptional individuals who had a huge passion for their work, and was really have a love for humanity to a large degree. And the idea of Artists of Health came out of that, because I think as human beings, we've got the mind, we've got the body, and we've got the energy, and all of these things link together, and you can't just focus on one thing. It has to be the entire spectrum. So with Artists of Health is kind of basically a conversation with different artists, really, people who are passionate about what they do, who are grounded about what they do, and really have been pioneers of their particular field. It's just basically talking to them about their life and how they got to where they are, basically.
Because I had a little peek at the video, and I saw, various persons from all different backgrounds. You had a Pilates instructor, someone who specialized in massages, it's a really incredible group of people.
Absolutely. And
the
the thing is, it's basically, I think there are a number of different ways that we can view our work, for example. So when you say massage, and that has been a huge passion of mine. Body work has been a real passion of mine, simply because it's kind of like on the maintenance end. And I think when people have a massage once a month, for example, it alleviates a huge plethora of problems later on. Do you know what I mean? Because it just kind of gives space into the body. It kind of allows, and it also gives you an idea of any issues that might be showing up that you might need to deal with. So like later on, you don't have to then start to sort of look for doctors and all of that, because you would have been taking care of yourself in that way. But people have so many different ways of viewing, massage, and I think when you view it as something that's actually quite sacred, that it's something that you're giving to somebody else, you're opening up a space for somebody else, and that, someone coming to you for a treatment is quite a sacred thing. It's quite, that's to be respected, and so you need to hold a level of space within yourself for that person. And when you find people who have that idea, who have, that very strong reverence for what they're doing, they can create amazing things. Someone comes in for a back rub and ends up feeling, I know where my path is now. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I know where my path is now. I know what I need to do now, Or basically, they come in and, they just come in for a simple massage and leave. And the thing that was kind of like a block for them, that, they couldn't see their way forward, suddenly, because the body is relaxed and they've relaxed into themselves, they're able to present their energy in a different way. They're able to tackle that in a different way,
I can attest to that.
It's and I think basically when we actually really start to understand the beauty that we have within us as human beings, and start to really tease that out of ourselves, amazing things can happen.
Absolutely. You call yourself an alchemist.
Yes.
Explain that term to me and the viewers.
Well, alchemy for me is the term alchemy is basically about turning base metal into gold. And when I call myself an alchemist, it's really about looking at the beauty of something and really seeing the beauty of it. And when you actually look at the beauty and you see the beauty in another person, they see it themselves. And what could have been termed, a rock, or could have been turned something of no value whatsoever, becomes something that's actually quite splendid. And so for me, but bringing that element of alchemy into everything that I do work-wise is really, really important. And calling myself an alchemist means that then it taps into the alchemist in the other person, and they're able to actually understand that they have that magic and that beauty within themselves as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Tell me a little bit about what you do in terms of therapy, massage, and all of that. Why did you? You just given me your entire portfolio,
timeline.
Your history, your timeline. That's it. And it's amazing where you were going to where you've ended up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Business school and
Yes. Yes.
What really? And I know you just explained that this is what you believe in and you're passionate in it. But is there any other element or any sort of motivational factor that brought you to that space?
I think it's, when I started with talking to you about my childhood, it was really to kind of bring to the forefront the idea of kind of meeting all different kinds of people, and really getting an understanding of people, and really understanding that basically there's nothing that separates one person from another person other than a thought. You know, if I think I'm like this and you're like that, it means that I can actually either put up a wall or I can embrace you. And that thought really rung throughout my life, you know, because of those experiences. And so when I got into business and, you know, got into the media advertising world, it opened up another spectrum for me. But what was really calling me was this magic, you know, this kind of undertone that I could sense in everything, and kind of like, how do I work with this? You know, how do I tap into this? How do I bring this out in myself? And how do I learn more about it? And also, how do I actually, you know, work with other people with it? And so I started off doing a Reiki course. And the person that I did the Reiki course with was just this amazing woman. I mean, basically, she was kind of like the type of person that would say to you, if you have anything in your heart, just follow it, you know, just do it, you know. And that's exactly what I needed to hear, because at the time, you know, it wasn't the normal path for people to be going down, and certainly wasn't for me. It wasn't really in my environment. So to meet her and to have her encourage me in that way was exceptional. And then once you start one thing, it just leads into another.
So true.
And
into another.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which we're going to get to in a matter of moments. Folks, I'm chatting with Tash Mitch. She is a wellness coach, and we're going to take a really short break at this point in time. We're going to take a break, but when we return, we get to talk a little bit more about your book, Artists of Health, and what it really means to you, and how much effort you really had to put into it to making this book a reality. Tash Mitch, when we return. And now we're going to actually, you know, get deeper into the book, which is the real reason she's here. But, you know, we got to, you know, let you know a little bit about the author before we move into the actual book. So, Artists of Health. You got an idea. It's really a culmination of various persons in various fields of work when it comes to mind and wellness and body. And I know you said you met all of these people in your journey, you know, and how did they react when you approached them to be part of this book?
Well, in varying ways. In varying ways. Basically, it was really important for me to pull a number of different kinds of people. And so some people already had a media profile and like PR agencies involved and everything like that. And I think it was more the passion that I had for the project itself that actually kind of like projected it forward to them. And you know, they got pulled in on the back of that. So in the book itself, there is a number of just amazing individuals who have actually been really pioneering their fields. And it's people, for example, whose books that I studied myself, or who basically created, or you know, for example, sports massage was the name sports massage was coined by this man called Mel Cash, who is in the book here. So it's really, you know, incredibly interesting talking to all these people about why they were so passionate about what they're doing. And I think for me personally speaking, as a wellness coach and really into well-being myself, each person contributed to my own viewpoint and perspective in terms of what I was doing, because they actually really gave a full picture of, you know, how we can treat someone holistically, basically. I would love if you could share an excerpt from your book. I don't know if you have a particular area that you'd like to read from, or totally up to you. Well, you know, basically, with the book, there's a number of different quotes that I've actually taken to head up each of the sections. I keep coming back to massage because it's one of the points that I actually, it's an area that I'm actually quite passionate about. But basically, there's also nutrition. There's also, as you mentioned previously, Pilates through movement therapy. So, for example, I'll just quote this one woman, Beata Alexandrowicz, who is a massage therapist, but she also in Africa. So she went out there and she actually really went on a healing journey with them, and then came back and shared that healing. And now she actually operates where she takes people out to integrate with the tribes on that level. That's kind of like a really deep healing, energetic kind of level. So when you add that to physical therapy, I mean, you're talking about something that's just exceptional. But there's something that she quoted. She said, touch is the most fundamental way of communicating with another human being. It is so powerful that it goes beyond any stories, any background differences, or any language barriers. And this is so true. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you bring that level of understanding to it, so when you actually approach another person and you touch another person, you touch them with a reverence, what you bring to your treatment, whatever that treatment is, whether it be acupuncture, whether it be physiotherapy, whatever you bring to that person, you bring something that's exceptional, basically, because there is an energy and a presence behind what you're doing. Then there was Emma Roberts. So we were talking about how varied the book is. So she's a dance therapist, and one of the things that she does is she basically gets people to express their emotions through movement and through dance. And sometimes, basically, when we move our bodies and we express a certain emotion, we bring out aspects of that emotion that we would never ever be able to actually vocalize or put a narrative to. And we allow that emotion to express itself. And that's basically where she comes from. And she, one of the quotes from her: culture, family, life experience, our gender, our race, all of these incorporate the programming that we use to create our body. We live in a space of habits where we do what we have always done. To find our true potential, we have to be willing to be in a place where we have no idea what we're going to plug into, which takes us past our limits of what we know. And so it's basically taking people past their boundaries, and as human beings, we get ourselves into like little tight spots where we get up, we go to work, we come home, we get up, we go to work, we come home, we get up, we go to work, we come home. And it becomes like, robotic sort of thing that we do. And the body doesn't really appreciate, the body, mind, or energy doesn't really appreciate that, because it needs different input, it needs us to push ourselves in different ways. It needs to see other things. It needs us to interact with other things. I remember Deepak Chopra saying one time about, the chemicals in the body, and that we have access to a pharmacy within the body, but we never really always access it if we're doing the same thing all the time. So basically, the energy that you access, if you scream with excitement, is really different to the energy that you access when you meditate. It's really different to the energy that you access when you're out with your girlfriends having a glass of wine. So it's really different kind of aspects to yourself. But all of these aspects provide chemicals within the body that actually really support you. So going out and being and doing and experiencing all of these aspects of yourself is really important. And basically, this is where this book comes from.
I like the fact you mentioned that.
Yes.
For one, I hate the routine.
And it's so easy to get into.
It's so easy to get into.
Yeah,
but I think every now and again we need to really just get out of our comfort zone and,
absolutely
try
explore
something
ourselves.
new,
Yeah, explore
try
ourselves.
to play an instrument, or,
Yeah.
But That's fantastic.
Yes.
Now, where can folks get their hands on your book?
At the moment, I'm still coming up with places because I'm still sort of closing negotiations on where it's going to go out to. But what I will say is if people could go onto the website, artistsofhealth.com, and just put their details in there for updates. Basically, I will provide them with updates as to where the book is going to be available. I'm basically going to have it in 3 places. That's the mind process with it. So basically I'll have all the details on the website there.
Wonderful.
And they can access it there.
And clearly I can keep them posted. I'm sure folks will get in touch with me to find out, hey, I saw that lady with that book on the show. Where can I get it?
Yes.
I'm sure I'll be more than happy to share it.
artistsofhealth.com.
Yes.
Definitely. The website, go on there and put your details on there. And really I would love to interact with you as well. So
Wonderful.
that would be great.
Great. Now, before we wrap up, just on a fun side of things, I try to do that with almost all my guests. You practice yoga. You love yoga.
Yes.
Yeah. What other various relaxation methods do you enjoy?
There's so many different ones, but one of the ones that I really love is chanting. And it's basically you chant a mantra which opens up the vocal cords, and it actually relaxes you, but it also brings you into that kind of element of expression as well. And sometimes basically I would chant something that's that basically will set up my day, so yeah, that's one of the big ones for me.
Nice. When you're having something sweet, what would it be? Or when you feel for something sweet? You can say it.
It'll probably be chocolate, actually, I have to say. I love Grenadian chocolate, the dark chocolate.
Choice,
oh
good choice.
My God, yes.
Good choice.
Yes.
Fantastic. Tea or coffee?
Probably coffee, but then I actually really try and limit myself. It's not good for me. So basically, yeah, but that's I
was just about to tease you, I was just about to say, a girl from London, you'd say tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marlon's like, she's saying tea. She's like tea, well, you never know.
Yeah.
And if you weren't doing this, I know you went to school for something else, but if you weren't doing this, what else would you have been doing? What do you think?
Well, the thing is, it's basically, I think it's possible to express ourselves in so many ways. So basically for me, I have this thing that we have so much time on this planet, and we need to do as much as we can with that time. And so the book is one element of what I'm doing, but actually holding space or holding meditation groups for people, doing sort of life coaching and wellness coaching with people. Basically finding different ways of expressing both myself and allowing people to express themselves is really important. So I don't feel I'm missing out on anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm always looking for a way that I can actually express it out,
If there's one tip that you can give our viewers right now when it comes to, just well-being and being relaxed and just living in the moment of, of life and just enjoying it day to day, what would that one tip be from you?
The one tip would be is that we actually take life for granted sometimes. We take the fact that we're breathing for granted sometimes, or that we woke up this morning for granted sometimes, and to a large extent when we realize that there is something incredibly beautiful about life, just the fact that you can take breath, that you can, all of this is, and you can take breath and express it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you actually realize that there's incredibly beautiful aspect to just being human, it brings another element, because, you start your day thinking, thank God I woke up, I've woken up and I can actually go out and do something. And because for me, there's always that element of, not so much life is short in a morbid sense, but more life, life is not forever. You don't see everybody living for thousands of years. You've got a certain amount of time here. And in that time, you've got the gift of yourself, the gift of the things that you love to do. Do it, just do it.
Oh, what a way to end your interview. Just do what you love to do.
Just do it.
Wake up every day. Look forward to doing what you love to do. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you very much.
And all the best.
Thank you.
Please keep me informed.
Absolutely.
I'll be more than happy to spread the word for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.